Why am I being taxed when I am 15 years old? I was offered a part-time job and it got me thinking. Why do I have to pay taxes? I can't vote yet, so isn't this taxation without representation? No taxation without representation was a slogan from the Revolutionary War era. It was about how the colonies were paying taxes but didn't get representation in Parliament. It was not about individual people getting taxed or the rights of individuals to vote. It was never made into a law. Taxation without representation isn't a law. You're earning income. You pay income tax. That is law. Boy, wait till I tell you about Washington, D.C. Your guardians are your representatives until you turn 18. Don't feel bad. You can claim all of it back given your low income tax bracket and lack of benefits so typical of part-time starter jobs at a fast food joint or flyer delivery job. Your employer is following all the income tax laws by automatically deducting as he pays you. You can claim it all back coming tax day in April. You likely have a $2,000 or $3,000 tax refund coming your way after you claim it on your tax form. This is how young people end up with cash windfalls for that new PC or saving money towards their first car or collage. I can't vote yet, so isn't this taxation without representation? This isn't a real thing. You're making income, thus you have to pay income taxes. It's as simple as that. Because you exist in society, you drive on roads paid for with taxes. Use utilities maintained with taxes. Are educated in schools funded by taxes. Don't worry, you'll probably get it all back. You've been taxed your whole life. If you are making money in any way, you will be taxed. Just life. You can dodge it but have fun dealing with the IRS. No taxation without representation was just a slogan. It wasn't based on the idea that everyone paying tax would have the right to vote. Just that the people in the colonies who would have had the right to vote in England, i.e., the male property owners, should have representation in Parliament. Taxes are not based on age. They are based on income. You are not tax exempt at any age. Welcome to life, kid. I can't believe I haven't seen this mentioned anywhere yet. But if you're a dependent under the age of 19, who lives with your parents more than 50 of the year, and you earn under $12,950 a year from your job, you won't pay any income taxes. I believe payroll taxes are unavoidable. That's Social Security and Medicare. Generally much smaller than income taxes. So at the end of the year, if you're having money withheld from your paychecks, you should get it all back. You are represented by whoever's district you live in. Just because you didn't vote for them doesn't mean you're not represented. You will only actually pay taxes for income over a certain amount. Taxes and FICA are withheld from income by law. You will likely get a refund for all the taxes withheld, but will not benefit from FICA until you retire or become disabled. Depending on where you live, it's possible to get most or all of your taxes back when you file your income tax return since you're a minor. You've benefited from tax-funded programs your entire life. From education to transportation infrastructure and police and fire departments. What do you think funds those things? Taxes. You are benefiting from taxes, and part of benefiting and succeeding in society is paying your part. Good job. Taxpayer, don't forget to file with the IRS next year and you'll probably get most of the money back. Do you use roads? Schools? Pay up. Relax, Paul Revere. I worked when I was one. Model for diapers, baby food, etc. and paid taxes. You haven't overthrown the government yet. Haha. Welcome to the real world. Never heard the expression death and taxes? You can't avoid them. Unfortunately, as others have said, no taxation without representation is an often misunderstood slogan from the Revolutionary War and not a law. The slogan was less about individual votes than overall. The colonies didn't like that they got next to no say about the way things ran while they funded the monarchy. If it worked so that you don't have to pay tax if you can't vote, a bunch of rich people would just commit a minor felony to serve very little time while losing the right to vote and the need to pay taxes. You realize you've been paying things like sale tax since forever, right? So you were already being tax oblivious much? Because you are earning money. The only way to avoid this issue would be to ban people from working before 18. Unfortunately, plan on this for the next 50 years. Isn't this taxation without representation? Just like what happens to everyone living in DC, Puerto Rico, Samoa, Guam, etc. Welcome to the world, kid. Cheers. Taxation without representation. That doesn't mean what you think it means. Lol. Didn't you learn that in US history? If your parents claim you on their taxes, you shouldn't be. Check your deductions. Should be 0, not 1 or more. You earn money. You pay taxes. Simple as that. File a tax return next April and you'll get most or all back, since you'll probably earn less than the minimum total income. When I tell you that taxation without representation is rampant in this country, I'm not even kidding. Do you use roads, footpaths, drink clean water, enjoy the luxuries of plumbing and electricity, etc.? Then you're paying your share to fund the government to provide these things. They're also covered in council rates and utility bills. But the government still provides funding to these services. The only out is if you make under $12.50 for the year. Doesn't matter that you're underage. Taxation without representation was a Revolutionary War thing. Residents of Washington, D.C. have no voting representation in Congress even now. It's even on their license plates. Taxation isn't about voting. It's about public project usage. You earn an income in the United States presumably by your quote. Your taxes go to paying for roads, police, schools, and 1,000 other things. No taxation without representation was a societal we. Even if we got representation from the British government and never became independent, that representation wouldn't have included minority Americans or women. We as a society still have representation for our taxation, despite it not being coded into law. Yes, it is. No, the government doesn't care. You have zero recourse. Enjoy the rest of your life. Just accept it, bud. The ass fucking just gets more painful. You'll be able to get a refund in full if your parents elect to file your tax return. If you earn less than the standard deduction, you're not required to file, but still can elect to do so to receive a refund of your taxes paid. If you know your annual income is going to be less than $12,200, you should update your W-4 with your employer to mark as tax exempt. You'll still be liable for FICA. Taxes are just the subscription fee you pay to live and work in a country. Yes. And you are also paying VAT since you had money. In fact, expats living in your country are not even citizens, but are still liable for taxes. That's basically the cost of living in the country. That's it. If you live in any of the 50 states, you're represented in state, local, and the national government regardless of your age. You can still have your voice heard. You just haven't passed the legal age yet for voting in elections. Yes, it's a stupid question. Why do people who don't have kids pay school taxes? Why do people who drive EVs pay gas taxes? Taxation WO representation face with rolling eyes.